be in there, Indy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at making paper bricks for, say, a fireplace. You could use it for fireplace, you could use it for outdoors, indoors, whatever. So, so many of us, we actually shred our paper, and what do? We kind of throw it away. Now, I admit that this being a lot of the stuff that you get from the mail, it does work. It doesn't work as good as straight, say, newspaper or whatever. We get the plastic pieces in here, which are not as good. To say it in the regard of, looks like garbage here, got knocked in there by the cat. When you get kind of that waxy paper or whatever, it's got an extra coating, it doesn't burn as good. So sometimes when I'm making this, because this is a lot of garbage mail and all that stuff, it doesn't burn as good as, say, just regular newspaper. But the fact that we're taking what is essentially something that would have been thrown in the garbage and become just nothing but waste, we're turning it into something that we can use in our fireplace. It's pretty good. To say exactly how long these last, I have yet to really time them. I got this idea from many, many years ago when I was in a church camp. They're doing this in a lot of undeveloped countries, more of the third world countries and stuff like that, where it's using garbage and waste that they can use for their benefit to heat their homes or to cook with or whatever may have you there. So what we're doing is we're just starting off with regular shredded paper, however you're getting it, whether it's your mail or whatever that you shred. And then what we're doing is we're soaking it in water. Now, I think it works best if we soak it in water for about a week. If you go a little less, it might work, not a problem. Usually my problem is I keep forgetting to do these. And then the wife is kind of after me saying, hey, are you going to make some more of these? And with it being winter right now, normally I have a fireplace going, or not the fireplace, but the pellet stove. But my pellet stove has taken a dive. So I haven't had that running in the last 2 years. So I don't have this nice warm heat that I can kind of set it in front of the pellet stove and let it just dry off as the heat's coming out and warming up my basement. So really I've been a little bit more lenient on trying to make these in the winter so much as more in the summer because it does take a little bit longer to dry out and all that. So for that reason, I really have been a little lazy on it, and that's on me for doing this. Now, some people, for doing this, you might want to wear gloves, and you'll see why. If you don't have a problem with getting the paper on your hands and it just kind of feels a little icky or whatever, no big deal. So as you can see, this is a mold that we use. I put it into like a container because as we get this out, we're going to get some water dripping in, and we're just going to go from there. So we'll take our top piece out. So we have our nice cavity here. I'll get this all nice and close. I think you guys can see it looking at the computer. I think you're able to see it. And then I have a kitty cat trying to figure out what I'm doing here. And I'll reach over here. Kind of startle her and say hi. Are you ready there, kitten? Yeah, it's a whole different setup. I have a different tripod here for the camera. She's looking it over. I don't know if it's gotten her tail of approval or not, but all right. So, we get all the water here, and I try to squeeze out whatever I can, and I kind of pack it in here kind of like a paste. You could do it one of many ways. I mean, you could just slop it in here, and that's really the big reason for having this, because as I squish it out, I'm going to get more water. So, it doesn't matter how much I try and get all the water out of here. I'm going to get water in here anyway. It's just trying to limit it a little bit, but it's kind of futile. What am I doing there, kitten? Huh? You being my assistant? You don't have the paws with the opposable thumb, though. Yeah, it's something different, isn't it? All right. So as we kind of get it packed up here, you can pack it however you want, however high you want it to go. really what's going on is once we get it packed, we're going to squish it down. And boy, I got a lot of stuff just sticking to my hands today. And it's got a little bit of a smell to it from those sitting there in the brine. Um, like I said, I mean, you might want to do it with gloves, you might not. It's all up to you. Of course, I'm here at home, so when I get done with this, I can always just wash my hands and no big deal. So it just kind of flips over. Normally I'll push it down a little bit ahead of time, and then you just kind of squeeze it down. And that's really about all we have. So this has gone down a little bit. Get all the water out of here. Then I'll just let it sit here for, usually I let it go for about a week. Then I'll try and kick it out of here. If I was going at this, quite honestly, and trying to do this the best that I could, I think I could get about 2 bricks a week. If I wanted to go a little bit faster, I might be able to. And if it doesn't come out perfectly, I could just let it sit there and just dry off naturally. Usually I'll put it into a box or something like that, and I'll kind of go from there. And we have another one here. Now this has got the brick in it. So as I pull this out, so you get to see how the finished product really kind of looks. And we just lift this up, loosen it up a little bit, and then there's our brick. And then that's our paper brick. And then we can put it into the fireplace or whatever. For using garbage, stuff that you're going to throw away and turning it into something that you can heat your home with, it is kind of nice. Even if it gives me another, say, 20-30 minutes, right? It always helps. Now, I will say how I normally do this for a 1-to-1 ratio, like a plastic shopping bag worth of kind of shredded paper here. I'll get 1 brick, maybe a little bit more than 1 brick. So typically when I'm doing this, and if my wife is shredding the paper, which I've had extra paper shredded, and I'm sitting on a little surplus, which thankfully sometimes I run out of bedding, not on purpose, but I do. And my daughter will use it for the rabbits, but it is what it is there. But I can go through about 1 shopping bag worth of shredded paper per brick. So when you think about that, that's about how much we're using. Because once you get all the water in here, this bucket was filled up about the same amount as what this bucket was or is. And then once you get the water in there and it just kind of sits, it slowly goes down. Now, if you want to try and kill some of the smell, because like I said, there is a little bit of a smell to this. And of course, it's downstairs here in my, my little personal dungeon here. And it sits in my utility bathroom, so it's not like I have very many guests coming here or whatever else. So I don't have to worry about the smell that much. But I will say, if you really want to kill the smell, either use some cleaners in here, just a little, honest cleaner. If you have some perfume or whatever, you could add it to it to just kind of liven up so it doesn't smell. I mean, it's not overly bad. It really isn't. If it was real bad, I'd just do this outside. But there again, it's winter right now. This would be frozen. Kind of hard to do it at that point. But I could always just throw in some cheap aftershave or something like that. Make it smell a little bit better. And I've done that before. Even just using cleaners, that kind of helps. But just being able to make this stuff, have it work, is kind of nice. And I usually just leave it sitting here for about a week. I'll take it out and we'll just kind of go from there. And then, like I said, we get a couple bricks. So then I can throw it into the fireplace and I can just let it kind of go. Um, you know, it is a nice, effective way of getting rid of your waste into a stream of something useful for those that have fireplaces, or even if you just want to, if you're in town, you don't have a lot of wood available or whatever, you could put that into a little fire pit or something like that and burn it. And if you're concerned about, the reason why we shred our stuff is to make sure people don't grab it and, take off with anything that we don't want them to. This is another avenue to really make sure it's hard for them to gain any information from us. Um, I mean, all I'm getting is just a little bit of ash at this point. It's all shredded, it's all whatever. Go figure that out. So, and that's about it. It's not that hard. It takes very little time to physically do, and yeah, I kind of get lazy because I'm tied up with other things. But the fact that we can turn, like I said, something that's a waste into something productive for our fireplace or something like that. And, they don't take up a lot of room. Once you start building them up, of course, then you're going to want a good box to throw them in or something. But, it works good. So, with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.